Hey guys, just want to make a brief video talking about freshwater trout fishing. I do quite a bit fishing on the river, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the basic rigs that I use on a day-to-day basis and rigs that I see other people using. Particularly the rigs that I see other people using are tackle that are just way too heavy. I see people using 10 to 20 pound test, size 2, size 4 hooks, and just throwing too much weight and what have you, and they wind up frustrating and never catching any fish. And it's just because they're using the wrong tackle most of the time. Once they switch up and they see what I'm using and they go with something, just a basic setup that I use, even right here you can see that this is a size 2 hook. It's almost the size of half my finger. Right under it is a size 10. You can see the difference between that one and that one. I use a size 10 on top there. It's much smaller. I typically fish corn, and 2 kernels of corn are about cover that hook right there. And of course that's always a plus too without having your hook shown. But as you can see, I mean, it's just the difference between the ones on the bottom. I see so many people fishing that, and then you can see the size of the line, which is between 10 and 12 pound test. Trout, being very line shy, become wary and of course just don't bite. And it's just basically mostly because of the tackle. And it's funny, most people ask, what are you using instead of what type of tackle? Again, a barrel swivel that's probably rated for 20 to 40 pound test, a huge split shot. Is what I use is Berkley Fireline 6 pound test. And I like it. It's got very low memory. It's very abrasion resistant. It beats the hell out of mono when it comes to abrasion resistant. I mean, I fish along shallow water and rocks, sometimes catching fish in 2 feet of water, and I get hung up and whatnot. And I normally do 4 to 6 pound test and tie it to a surgeon's knot and do 2 pound tippet. But since I'm not going mono to mono, I'm doing a small barrel swivel, as you can see it there. It's just rated for maybe 6 pound, 8 pound test or whatever, and then going to 2 pound monofilament, and that's it. All it is, all my rig is 6 pound, the Berkley, and just a short rig going at the 2 pound test tippet, maybe 1.5 foot, 2 pound, 2 feet of 2 pound tippet monofilament, size 10 hook. Normally fish corn. Sometimes the Berkley power bait is another one that really works well for trout. But between the two of them, if they're not hitting on that, a couple other things that work really well in terms of lures, you don't have to go crazy and buy a huge assortment of them, are these little MEPs over here. These are just standard size 0 MEPs. They come on just a regular tri hook. Couple dollars a piece. This one right here, this is a Phoebe. You'll normally see these in either silver or gold. This one's in silver over here. Between these two over here, I've caught so many fish. They're just great lures. Anything shiny like this Phoebe over here, like a sand eel, is another one that's a great one. On top you got the MEPs. Between these two over here, a couple different chartreuse, some pinks, some grain, some shiny ones and whatnot. You can't go wrong. But ultimately, it's such a funny thing, because the difference between basic river fishing with stocked trout, we're talking usually fish between 3/4 pound and 1.5 pounds. Between the guys that catch a lot of fish and the guys that don't, it usually comes down to the tackle. And so many of these people just get so frustrated, and they don't realize the difference is they just don't know what they're doing in terms of what they're throwing at the fish. If you look at that size 2 hook under my size 10, it's just much too much. Not to mention, to cover that hook is nearly impossible no matter what you're using. I mean, it's all of 1.25 to 1.5 inches long. And then again, tied to, it looks like 10 or 12 pound test, and trout are just very line wary. I mean, they're kind of like snook. They scare very easy. So you might want to tone down your tackle a little bit if you're not catching fish, especially if there's other people catching fish. You can kind of, normally you'll see even with fly fishing, I mean, they're just using light tackle. They're using, stuff that's small. So I hope this helps somebody. If it does, sub, leave a comment, and I definitely like to talk to you. So peace out.